Good morning, young people. Welcome back to another adventure in handwriting. So, remember, before we begin our handwriting, we need to remember our rhyme. So, 1, 2, 3, 4 are my feet flat on the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8 is my back up nice and straight. Also, 2, please make sure that you tuck in your chair. 9, 10, 11, 12, this is how my pencil is held. Remember, I use a pen so that you can see what I'm doing. But remember, we use our thumb, our second finger and our third finger, and we try and not be too tight with holding our pencil, because otherwise we hurt our hand and our writing often comes out being very dark. So we're keeping a nice gentle grip on our pencil, okay, but keeping it like that. All right, 13, 14, 15, 16, now I'm ready to start my writing. Alrighty, so remember guys, in our handwriting book we always start with the long date. So the long date is made up of the name of the day, the numbered day, the date, the month that we're in, we have a comma, and the year. Now I'll say this again, I said this last week as well, please make sure you start all the way over on the left side of your page. Okay, so see I've got the staples there, and I've got the spine of my book, so the part that runs down the middle. So I want to start right over on the left there, near the spine. Please listen carefully to that, because even last week I still noticed some students that were not starting over on the left. And when you do that, you run out of room. So let's make sure we start over on the left. So watching me first, I'm going to begin with, I'll zoom in, I'm going to begin with the letter T, because that's what Tuesday starts with. We're doing this on a Tuesday. Please watch me first, so don't do anything yet. So watching, and then I'll give you time. So we start with the T. On the top dotted line we go down, take our pencil or our pen off, and then we come back up here to where the dots are, and we cross it from left to right. You might just swap over to a permanent marker just so you guys can see it a bit better, okay? And you get to see it again. How lucky are you? So I'm starting at the top here, and I'm putting my pencil on the page, and I'm going down, taking it off, and then I'm going from left to right, okay? Now it's your turn, so take your time. You do that too. Okay, now for the U. So the U starts just next to the T, on that top solid line. Watching me please. We start here, we go around, up, and down to that bottom solid line. Your turn. Okay, now for the E. Remember, E is a funny letter because it doesn't start at the top like all the other letters do. Instead it starts in between these two solid lines. So here are the two solid lines. Here's the E starting from the middle, going up and around, making a loop, going down to the bottom solid line, coming up, take your pencil off the page. Okay, now for the S. Remember, with the S we start just that tiny little bit below the top solid line, and as you can see I'm not starting right over next to the E, I'm coming over here, and this is where I'm going to start. So I'm going up, touching that line, curving, going down, curving, coming up, letting go. Now for day, please watch really carefully. So we're going to start with the D. Remember, it's like an A, but then it keeps going up. So watching me, we start over here, a bit away from our S, we go across, down, round it up, keep going until you hit the top dotted line and then come down. That is our D. Now for our A, remember D was like A, so it shouldn't be too hard. So we go around, down, up, and down again. So we've got Tuesday, we need the Y on the end so it can say A, Tuesday. Okay, so you're doing that. And then I'm going to draw or write the Y. So starting over here, Y is like U. Remember we did U before. Coming up, going down below the bottom solid line and doing a nice curve. Awesome, so now we've got Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, the 28th of July. So I'm going to leave a finger space. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to start just below this top dotted line and I'm going to do my 2. Please watch me first. So we're going up, touching that top dotted line, curving, down, touching the bottom solid line, going across to the right, taking your pencil off the page. Your turn. Okay, now we need our 8. So starting over here, not right next to the 2, we need to start over this way, and we need to start just that little bit below the top dotted line, put our pencil down, and we go around to the left, curving it, going down all the way down and curving it around that bottom solid line. Okay, I'm still keeping my pencil on the page, curving, coming up, joining it. Your turn. And now for our T. So starting on that top dotted line, going down, taking a pencil off the page. Remember we always cross from left to right. So crossing from left to right. Coming back up to this top dotted line, going down all the way to the bottom solid line, coming up and around and down. So we've got Tuesday, 28th. Now we're going to say of July. So I'm going to leave a finger space and I'm going to do my O. So O. And then F from up here where the dots are, going down, taking it off, crossing. Okay. I'm going to leave a finger space. And I have to start my J over here, remember, because J has that lovely sort of round hook going on. So starting over here, going down, coming up, making that nice hook. And then our U. Okay, L starts on the top dotted line, coming down, and then our Y, which is like U. Okay, now I have to be careful because I don't have a whole heap of space left. So I have to think about how I'll do this. Remember the comma has to go very close to the Y, not touching it, but close. It's not massive. Now I'm going to try and leave a reasonable space and fit in my 2020. So I'm going to go with my 2, and down. Remember 0 starts up here, goes around, comes up. This is going to be a very tight fit today. 2 and 0. Oh, just made it. My goodness gracious me. All right, let's have a look at that. Tuesday, 28th of July, 2020. Awesome. Give yourself a pat on the back if you managed to fit all of that on one line. If you didn't manage to fit all of that on one line, then just have a think about why. All right, so we are going to go down to our next line. And I'll just zoom in so you can see a bit better. And today we're going to focus on the letter J. J makes a J sound. So on our first line, we're going to focus on capital J. Please watch me. I'm going to start over here, top dotted line. You're just watching though, you're not doing anything yet. We're going down to the bottom solid line, curving and coming up. So watch again, I'll do another. So leaving a finger space, coming over here. Okay, remember you don't want to start over there, otherwise you'll go down and you'll end up doing the J on top of your finger. So starting over here, we go down, around, up. Okay, and you get sort of this lovely upside down walking stick or candy cane kind of look. Okay, and we're going to keep on doing that. You can do that now. So I'm going to put my finger down, I'm going down, around and up, and again, finger space, down, around and up, and we're not rushing them, okay? That's when people make the most mistakes, is when they rush through them. Down, around and up, down, around and up. Make sure that you're sitting up nice and straight while you're doing these. You know, you don't want to be hugging your book. You'll get a bad back. Down, around and up. Finger space. Down, around and up. And one more. Down, around and up. And guys, you'll have to think about how much space you've got at the end of yours, okay? If you can see that you can't, like I can see here, I can't fit another one in. So I'm not going to, okay? That would be for the best. It's not a competition to see how many you can fit on a line. All right, so have a look at your row of capital J. Have a think about how you went. Think about your spaces. Are they all the same? Are they equal? Are they not equal? Have a think. Think about where you placed your capital J on the lines. Are you happy with where you placed them? If not, then think about what you could do next time. All right, we're going to head down to line 3. And I will zoom in so you can see better. I'm sorry, I know it is a bit darker this week. Okay. So on line 3, we're going to focus on lowercase j. So lowercase j is on different lines. So see how the uppercase j, the capital J, starts on the top dotted line, goes down to the bottom solid line and comes up to the first solid line. Well, our little j, our lowercase j, starts on the first solid line. So we don't touch this one at all, okay? So we start on the first solid line, we go, just watching me please, we go down below the bottom solid line and we curve. And then we dot. So remember the dot's about halfway between these two lines, and it's not this big crazy squiggle and it's not a boom either. Okay, just a little movement like that. You can make your J. So I'm going to leave a finger space and I'm going to do another one. So again, I'm going to start over here because remember it's going to have that curvy bit. If I start over here, I'm going to end up on top of my finger. So starting over here, going down and around, dot. So something you might want to do too is try and make sure that you, like the bottom of your curve lines up with the one that's next to it, so that they're all about as low as each other, okay? Because you don't want one stopping up here and another one stopping down there. You'd like them to be all about the same. Okay, so leaving a finger space, going down, around, dot. Another finger space, going down, around, dot. Another finger space, going down, around, dot. Leaving another finger space, going down, around, dot. Leaving another finger space, going down, around, dot. Leaving another finger space. Now it's easy for me to dot them because I've got a permanent marker, but for you guys, you might just need to do a little round like that, okay? Finger space, down, around, dot. I think I'm only going to fit one more in here, okay? So let's do that. Down, around, dot. Great. Okay, let's zoom out, see what we have. Aha, perfect. Well, maybe not perfect, but pretty good. So all of my finger spaces look like they're even, which is wonderful. Oh, I'm just getting pen on my hand, sorry. My dots look like they're in the right spots. I must say the one thing though I am noticing is that I haven't made all of my J's as low as each other. So, you know, these two are similar, and that one's a bit higher, that's a little bit higher, that's higher, that's higher, that's higher, that's lower, that's lower. So I've got to try and get those about the same length. Okay, now let's go to the fourth set of lines, which are down here. We're going to do the combination. So the combination helps you to think about how the two, the capital and the lowercase look when they're together. So let's start with watching. Watching is always good to start with. So watch me first, please. Please don't just do it because you think you know it. Okay, now's the time to watch. So I'm starting on the top dotted line and I'm doing a capital J. So watching, I'm going down, bottom solid line coming up, letting go, but then I'm putting a lowercase j right next to it. Okay, so I'm going to come over here, so not far away at all, not very far, not even a finger space. I'm going to go down. Remember, it goes on that, starts at the top solid line, goes down past the bottom solid line and then curves, and then we dot it. Okay, so it should look like this. They almost look like a pair of like fishing hooks, or like I said, upside down candy canes or walking sticks, and this one's got a dot on it. So now watching me, I'm going to leave a finger space, and I'm asking you to watch me because remember, we can't start writing straight here because it'll end up on top of our finger. We have to come over here, go down, around, and come up to that top solid line. And then remember, this one's got to be close. Please do not leave a space in between capital J and lowercase j. We're going to go down, around, and dot it. Okay. So we're going to keep doing that until we've filled our line. So can you do that with me, or if it takes you a little bit longer, that's okay. I want you to practice and not to rush. All right, so leaving my space, coming over here, going down and up, down, curving up, dot, down, curving up, down, curving up, dot. There's a bit of a pattern to this. I can hear it when I say it. Down, curving up, down, curving up, dot, down, curving up, down, curving up, dot. Don't have much space left now. Down, curving up, down, curving up, dot. Okay, and if I have a look over here, I honestly don't think I'm going to have enough space. Sorry. I don't think I'm going to have enough space to comfortably fit. Do I? No, I don't. No, I don't have enough space to comfortably fit one more combination. All right, so if we have a look at what we've got, oh, it's looking quite lovely. Heap of J's. Okay, so we've got our lovely long date, our row of capital J or uppercase J, they're called as well. We've got our lowercase j, and we've got our combination J. So now we get to the last line, and remember the last line is where we have fun with words, where we talk about different words and how we can change them around by adding something to the beginning, but usually something to the end. So the word that we're going to focus on is the word joy. Like in the movie Inside Out, you know, there's a character called Joy. Joy is a feeling. It means to feel really, really, really happy, to feel joy. So I'm going to start over here. Okay, here's the spine of my book, but I'm not going to start on the spine because otherwise I'll end up, my curve will go in a funny place. So I'm going to come over a little bit. I'm going to go down, up, dot, watching me for the O, so I start over on the right and I go to the left, down, join. And watching me for the Y. It's like a U, but it keeps going. And that is the word joy. J-oy. Joy. Joy. Okay. We're going to leave a finger space. And now we're going to change that word just a little bit by adding a suffix on the end. So that means something we put on the end to change it a little. So the word we're going to change it to is joyful. To be full of joy. To have lots of joy. So I'm going to start over here. I'm going down, around, dotting. And then remember, we start the O a little further over to the right, come around to the left, down, curve, join. And remember, the O is not a circle. It's more like an upside down egg. And then a Y, which is like a U, but it goes down further and has that lovely curve like the J does. So joyful. All right, so watching me, we're going to do an F. Starting up here, watching, goes around, down, you take your pencil off, and then you cross it from left to right. So I've got joy, I've got joy from before. Now I'm going to put my full, so I've got F, and then my U, and L. Now normally you would spell full with two L's. But when you use full on the end of a word, you take away one of the L's. It's just a rule. Joyful, plentiful. There's a few others that have full on the end, but all of them are the same. They all have only one L, not two. So now we're going to leave a space. And we're going to change that word again. This time we're going to make it the word joyous. So I'm going to start here, watching me. I'm going to go down, curve the bottom, take it off, and dot. Watching me with the O, going around, joining, and the Y. So maybe you'd like to copy that part down. So you write down your joy, and then I'll show you how to add us. Joyous. Joyous, again, is similar to joyful. So if you said that someone is being joyous, or it's a joyous occasion, that means it's something that you're doing or an event that's full of joy, something really happy. For example, a wedding might be called a joyous occasion. It's an event where people are full of joy, they're really happy. Okay, we're going to keep going though. So coming over here, watching me, we're going to do an O going around, then a U, still watching, S. Joyous. Okay, so take your time to write the rest of joyous. And then after that, we've only got one more to go. All right, we're going to leave a space. The final word will have joy in it, but this time we're going to add it's a full word at the start. And we're also going to put a suffix on the end. So we're adding a bit to the start and a bit to the end. The word is overjoyed. Overjoyed means extremely happy, like you're more than just joyful or joyous, you're overjoyed, you're really, 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 really happy, really excited, really full of happiness, full of joy. So, overjoyed. Watching me, I'm leaving a space and I'm doing my O and then V, still watching, because we'll break it up. We'll do over first. Okay, so now it's your turn to copy over. Have a good look at where those letters sit, guys. They only sit between the two solid lines. They don't go above the solid lines and they don't go below the solid lines. That's over. Now, as you can see, I don't have a whole heap of room left, so I'm going to have to be careful. Okay, now for joyed. So I can start this closer to the R because remember, the tail is going to be under here. So J, watching me, dot O, Y. That's overjoy, but we want overjoyed. I feel overjoyed to be doing handwriting with you. Overjoyed. So we've got overjoy, but we want D. Now guys, when you hear D on the end of a word, it's not just D. It's not just D if it's a word and you want to add the ED on the end. You know, like when you turn jump into jumped. There's a lot of them out there. I'm just a bit stuck. But anyway, you'd normally add an ED to the end. So, watching me, starting in between the lines, going up and around, and then the D, I'm running out of room, so I'm going to have to be really, really careful. Up, and phew, just fit that one in. Down. That is the word overjoyed. Congratulations, you have finished our handwriting lesson for this week. I'm just going to zoom out, and we're going to have a look at what we've got. So we've got the long date up the top. We have a row of capital J or uppercase J. We have a row of lowercase j. We have a row of the combination capital J and little j. And then we've got our words that we like to play around with. So we've got joy, joyful, joyous, overjoyed. So ask yourself this question. Are you happy with the spaces that you've left? Are they all equal? Are they all a finger space apart? Think about where you put the letters. Did you put all the letters where I showed you to put them? Are some of them maybe not quite where they're supposed to go? And think about how dark or how light your writing looks. If it's looking really dark, then maybe you need to think about how hard you're pressing on your page. It's also a good idea to check your pencil. If you're using an HB pencil, then that's fantastic. Remember, if you're using a 2B pencil or anything higher, that might not be the right pencil for handwriting practice. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Well done, guys, and I'll join you again next week. Bye for now.